Now I want to ask you guys, gospel is changing. So how is it branding yourself without kind of losing that faith base?
As far as Kiera, Uncle Donnie, and myself are concerned, we keep the gospel going because it's the good news. Now, in our generation, we didn't do what Mahalia did, but it was still the gospel music. And so I don't want to give people a sense because the world puts fear in folks. It's not our job to do that. We put faith in folks. And so I want whoever's looking out there to say that if I want to be a gospel artist, I can be a gospel artist. We don't want them thinking that everything is changing and it's going, because you hear record sales are doing this and this is doing that. No, 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 no. God is great. Amen. And God is amazing. And as we move forward, because God is about progression, as we move forward, gospel music gets better.
It's really a conglomeration of all that's been said. Gospel music, it cannot change because Jesus Christ doesn't change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So the gospel music does not change because that means the message of the music. Now, the musicality may progress, but the message has got to stay the same. The sales may rise and the sales may dip, but God allows all of that to challenge us to see if we're invested in the industry or the ministry.
Come on.
And if we're invested in the industry, then we're going to rise and fall with the industry. But if we're invested in the ministry, then no matter whether it rises or falls, we'll always stay balanced and buoyant. And God will always make sure that we exist, not just exist, but that we live and thrive. So gospel music, we don't have to really brand ourselves. It brands us.
The world tells you you have to brand yourself to do that. When you come into the world, when your mother and father get together to have you, before the foundation of the world, God had already branded you. Out of all of the millions of sperm that could have hit that egg, you're the one that came. So you're branded already. Don't take the world's view of branding and say, oh, I'm branding myself. You're already branded. You don't have to reinvent what God has already purposed. And that's the thing that I want young people to understand. You don't have to hustle and be like, everybody, I got to get my name out there and do it. In God's time, everything happens. But the seed that's already on the inside of you for that, it's there. You're going to be who God purposed you to be.
I just want to ask you guys one more question. First, I want to say thank you for Sunday's Best because it lets young people see that God is still able on a national scale. So with everything that's going on and Sunday's Best is doing great, do y'all see more shows in the future? Do y'all think y'all might develop new shows?
I hope so. Like I have been blessed to, be on television and have this platform and share this platform rather. I'm just humbled and blessed, just as you admitted. And I had the opportunity of seeing Mr. Stephen Hill, who's the head of programming of BT, and I was like, please remember us young Christian, new generation artists. Like, thank you for giving us that opportunity. And he was just like, there's more to come. And so I know that's kind of risky to even say that on the camera, but to know that people like Stephen Hill they're thinking of us, that means a lot to us. So it is to say that God is still on our side. He's still thinking of us. He hasn't forgotten us. And we have to thank God and respect people like Stephen Hill, I don't know who else to call, but yeah, Deborah Lee, of course. Yeah, hello, duh. But yes, all of that. So I'm hoping that it will continue to do this because I agree with you. Sunday Best is fun. It gives us an opportunity to have a chance. So I'm with you.
And there are other gospel shows like David and Tamala Mann. They've got a great couple of sitcoms and reality shows. And you've got the Sheards, and you've got so many different spin-offs. You've got the Marys. You've got everybody. I like the qualitative gospel shows. Yeah. But BET gives us the opportunity to do a premier gospel music show. BET also gave us Bobby Jones, which is going into its 35th year, the longest running cable show, not gospel show, cable show in all of history. So BET offers us a great availability with the celebration of gospel with the BET Awards, because there's a gospel segment on the BET Awards. And it gives us the platform to be able to propagate this gospel, to promote this gospel and never change the message. I know we're calling it inspiration and we're calling it all this, but it's still gospel.
Gospel, yeah.
As long as it brings us into the mind and the spirit of Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
then it will always be gospel. It will always inspire us, so it'll be inspirational. But there will always be, as long as God gives us great formats like cable television or internet, social media, we will always have a platform for gospel because God will be seen everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really will. The Bible said in Matthew 24:16, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world to all nations before the end comes. So what you're doing right now on television, what you're doing on cable, on social media, on the internet, this is the new television. Social media is the new television.
Yeah.
And so you keep doing this because this is not a small thing. This is a great thing. It may not be NBC, ABC, or CBS, but right now,
Yeah.
there's so much more than NBC, ABC, and CBS. There's BET, and there's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you keep giving young people the kind of content like this that they can get the knowledge, because sometimes there's a zeal without the knowledge.
Yes, yes.
Have the knowledge of what you want to do. Inform yourself and learn some stuff. That's what I would say to this generation. Learn some things. Network. Continue to work together, because as you work together, one of the greatest things that Donnie and Kirk and I ever did was called Hopeville,
Yeah.
and it is still the biggest grossing gospel tour in history, in the history of gospel music. Now, if I had said I can't go with them, or if Donnie had said I don't want to go nowhere with them, but we realized that if we put all of our efforts together to make this great presentation, it wound up blessing us more than it actually blessed the
And we
people.
developed a network, and then we were blessed not only to work together, but we were blessed to work with some other people who gave us a great understanding. What you're doing, I thank God for you.
Yeah.
But we've had the pleasure of knowing people like Oprah Winfrey that started from grassroots and became the greatest power in media. Now Oprah loves Yolanda more than me, but I'm still one of her favorites.
Hey, after that, it's nothing else to say. I just want to leave all my young people out there with a quote. We praise like a saint, but I want to tell y'all, go through like a saint. It's your man XP.